Hey, over here. Please, I need to talk to you.
About what?
You don't know me, and I want to keep it that way. But I'll tell you, I'm with the opposition, and I know you're a wanted man too. ASC's hunting you. Heard you're quite the traveler. Keeping that in mind, my cell chief thinks we might be able to scratch each other's backs a little, considering we have the same enemies. He's got a deal for you. He'll be hiding in the back of the Curiosities, waiting for you.
All right. Sure.
Hey, officer. Should I be worried about your visit?
If I was still an officer, maybe. I'm as much on the run as you are now.
Maybe I should start calling you something else then. What's your name?
Zachariah.
A pleasure, Zachariah. How can I help you?
I'm afraid that the ASC managed to infiltrate the city where I'm currently living. Thought that maybe you could help me. You seem to be up to date on what they do.
Victor. Our nemesis. Very well. I'll tell you what I know. Victor got his hands on a commercial caravan, tortured its members in order to find out the location of their notorious secret city, the mysterious Noctis. He managed to send some of his men there. So take this with a grain of salt. But now I'm convinced Victor's got both mercenaries and religious dignitaries on ASC payroll there. Watch out, Zachariah.
Thank you, Bulgakov. I know the ASC's in Noctis, and I bet they got in pretending to be the crew of that caravan. They gotta be embedded in the population by now, hiding in plain sight. If they're pretending to be merchants among real merchants, that's not gonna fly too long. If they were smarter, they would have come in as refugees. Better start asking around. I'm sure folks aren't buying it. Hi.
Hello there, Mr. Mancer. Good to see you.
How have you been coping with the ASC's rise to power?
It's not me I'm worried about. You have no idea the number of our people who've been arrested, tortured, killed. But all of Victor's brutality is starting to backfire. The people are getting fed up. They're joining us in droves. Problem is, it's not easy to organize everyone. Especially when we don't know who the ASC spies are and aren't. But we still need to get the truth out to the people. It's the reason our publications are so important. It's just one voice of reason, standing up against the relentless lies and propaganda the regime's spreading. It's... I'm sorry, I'm sure I'm just preaching to the choir.
I heard you thought we might be able to help each other.
You heard right. Me and my group publish the real news, so people get to hear what's really going on past the propaganda. Problem is, we're having trouble getting reliable information. As you can imagine, we're being hunted too, which makes it harder to meet up with our informers, a lot of whom are turning up dead. Rumor is the army's reducing its number of troops, but it's just a rumor for now.
I could probably talk to my former captain to verify it. That all you're looking for?
No. We also know that we lost the war to Aurora, but don't have any details about it. Not a single soldier even came back from the front. We want to know what happened. How'd we lose?
Dandolo's probably heard and probably has a better political perspective and understanding of it than anyone else I'd know. That it?
No. One last thing. We heard about a rebellion in a prison camp a while back, but it wasn't the prisoners who rose up, it was the mutants working there. Heard a lot escaped.
And do you want to know details? Sure. For that, I can go right to the source. Mutants have settled down in a place I know. I'll see if I can get some answers for you. I'll be back when I find them.
It would be a big help. Looks like I wasn't wrong in asking you. Be careful out there.
Captain, good to... Rumor has it that the number of soldiers in the barracks is declining.
Despite official reasoning that it's downsizing because we're no longer at war. Unofficially, it's because many of your colleagues have been arrested, and even more replaced.
Replaced?
By members of the ASC who report directly to him, and now make up half my company, and who should be out watching over the population, but instead spend their time watching over us in support of the Colonel's little power grab. Just saying. If the man decided to mount a coup against the Dowser, not sure there's much we could do to stop him.
Repent! We won't have access to the Blue Paradise so long as we are not all absolved of our sins. You came here to wash your soul?
I had something else in mind. I'm wondering if any of your parishioners have started acting bizarre.
You dare to come ask me questions? You dare to come see me while you still have my child's blood on your hands? You are a monster! A diabolical creature who thinks he is a divine judge! Get out of here!
I want you to remember something. Your son killed folks, all to make himself look like one of God's chosen. Remember that? You think he'd still be alive if it wasn't for me?
That's true. You show great mercy, which is a cardinal virtue. you're not the monster people described me. Because strange servants came to find me and warned me against you. They had told me that you had sold your soul. Though now I see through their deceit, but some members of my flock, poisoned by those lies, have one desire about the rest: to put you in the sun, who we were told was your master. Do you care to repent, my son? Your life is in danger.
Can never be too careful with religious types, so I'll have to keep an eye on these folks. They can spread ideas like wildfire.
Welcome, welcome. What's your pleasure? What are you looking for?
Hey, did you by any chance see a caravan come back from Ophir lately? Would have had some members who might have looked different than they did when they left.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And they're no regular merchants, that's for sure. They've been trying to blend in, imitate our accents and clothes and all that. But not that well. They try damn hard, though. What happened to the real merchants? No, forget it. I don't even want to know. It scares the hell out of me. Rather not know.
Fair enough. Thanks. Hey there.
What do you want, human?
I heard some mutants escaped from a prisoner camp. You hear anything about that?
Hasn't everyone?
Not in Ophir, where the news never went public, no. It was only a rumor there. What do you know?
I know if Ophir's men hear of it, it will cause trouble for us. For those among us who are still slaves there.
It could also give your brothers back there some hope again.
And to show them that we are able to rebel and escape? Yes, hope. So I will tell you, for my people, life in camp was hard, to say it lightly. Hard labor during the days, brutality during the nights. The prisoners would take out their frustration of being locked up out on them. The guards and prisoners alike battered them with their frustrations. Then, one day, one of ours struck a guard who was trying to stop him from going to the aid of a brother. After he fled, the guards then stated that if he did not come out, they would execute 10 random mutants. That was the moment the rebellion began. A prisoner from Aurora helped my brothers. With tools, they incited riot. Blood flowed. Many died. Some escaped. But at the start, few thought to flee. At the beginning, they wanted only better lives where they were. It became obvious, though, the repression that would come would be worse than ever. That the only chance for life was somewhere else. Scum, the mutant who struck the guard, led them to freedom. They escaped without even being chased. The story came directly from Scum. A great speaker. A great hero.
Thanks for the information.
The most exotic goods on...
I'm looking for information about a caravan that recently came back from Ophir.
Ah, yes. Yes. The merchants who aren't, you mean? Yes, I knew the caravan's chief. And, yeah, the one who came back kinda looks like him, but sure as hell doesn't act like him. This might sound crazy, but seems to me all those merchants were replaced with... I don't know, but they're not from here. And instead of selling their goods, they're busy asking around about the guards and stock and that sort of thing.
Can you point them out to me?
I could, but I won't. I don't want any involvement. I don't want to be replaced. I'll just tell ya, they've been regular clients since they came back.
Fair enough. I'll just keep an eye on your clients for a while. Thank you. So we know the spies are embedded in certain groups, but to find out who the spies are among them, we're gonna need to keep a constant eye on all of them. Can't do it on my own, though. Gonna need all my brothers and sisters to take turns, so we can stay discreet.
Greetings, Zachariah.
I'm gonna need everyone's help. ASC's infiltrated Noctis, and as you already know, that's not a good thing.
We just got away from them. Why can't they just leave us alone? What? What do you want us to do about it? Most of us are terrified of them. They're immune to our powers.
I understand your frustration and your fear. I wasn't there, and don't even want to imagine what they put you through. But we don't back down from fear. We're military. We fight. And I will be damned if we will back down from a few fucking ASC spies with lightning rods.
I hope you can see our secrets at risk. But I agree, the best defense is a strong first attack. If we hide and wait for them, we put our secret even more at risk. So what do you propose we do?
From what I can tell, the spies have weaseled their way into 3 groups, but we can't move until we know which members are from the ASC. Moles disguise themselves as mercenaries, religious zealots, and even merchants.
Then I'll dispatch some eyes to keep tabs on those groups.
Thank you.
Things keep going like this, I'm in danger of actually liking Technomancers. I'd rather deal with the Mole Queen than Victor.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, fine. Technomancers are more like locusts than a Mole Queen. I guess the comparison isn't fair.
Zachariah, what can I do for you?
Not much news in Ophir about Aurora defeating Abundance. You heard anything?
Word is that Green Hope's defeat brought an end to the fighting. Aurora apparently took control of the hydroponics center using militia alongside Technomancers to support their army. And at first, Wisdom showed himself a worthy military strategist, using the militia in battle. Such people, properly motivated, can be surprisingly effective. You'd have to bear witness to the poorer classes of Aurora to fully grasp how badly they were mistreated, to fully grasp how much the mere promise of a place in the Council would motivate them to fight, to fully grasp how it helped to deliver quite a blow to Abundance. And while Aurora adopted new strategies, Abundance remained predictable. They had almost no Technomancers, since it's becoming harder to find them in Ophir with each passing day. An interesting development, yes? And one that wiped out their army.
Yeah, thanks for the info. How this dome will match up to the one in Ophir.
The one in Ophir? That was your Technomancer hideout, right? I was always curious, but I wasn't allowed near it. Due to confidential shit.
Yes, it used to be some sort of museum. It's a fascinating place.
Looks more like a pile of rocks to me. Let's hope this other one is in better shape. Otherwise, that doohickey thingamajig you're looking for will be really hard to find.
If the dome is really off the grid, then it could still be in good condition. But we should be ready for anything. The scavengers could have beat us to the punch and scrapped and sold it. How big is it? Should we be able to spot it from afar?
I wouldn't bet on it. If I understood correctly, there'll be some small housing domes. But what we're interested in is the archives of these ancient inhabitants.
Heritage. What a funny little... The offspring of those who built the dome probably reside in our cities. Or perhaps even one of us is a great... And yet here we are, chasing after old ruins so we can rummage for answers on our ancestors. How remarkably absurd, isn't it?
We have the turmoil to thank for that.
I find humans' curiosity towards the domes curious. Why do you pursue them and other artifacts with such zealotry?
I don't want to be mean, Phobos, but as a mutant, you've become something else. Isn't it hard to keep revering something that brings back memories of those who used and exploited you?
Yes, but no matter what happens, Earth is a forbidden fruit, and for that, we choose to forge ahead and not dawdle in the past.
I can't wait to see it. I've never seen an intact colonial dome. There are only a few ruins in the canyon leading to Noctis, and they are in such a terrible state. Most are so badly destroyed that you'd need a pretty strong imagination to call them domes.
This is the famous dome in the sands. What do you hope to find here, Zach? You never did tell me what you were hoping to find in the ruins.
I made a promise, a vow as a Technomancer, that I'd find a way to contact Earth. So finding a beacon would mean... everything.
Hell of a vow, Zach. Usually I only make promises I know I can keep. But I admire the persistence in the impossible. Though I'm not sure there's a beacon here, this dome doesn't look particularly important.
This place is quite small. Not that I... Only just thought more impressive. Coordinates of brain.
Be sure till we're inside.
It's probably fascinating. That is quite disturbing and frankly...
You know it wasn't...
Funny. Not a joke, haha funny. More like our forefathers thought it necessary to store insulation parts. Peculiar, but maybe the climate has changed since the turmoil. Funny. Not a joke, haha funny. More like our forefathers thought it necessary to store insulation parts. Peculiar, but maybe the climate has changed since the turmoil.
The Technomancer gate. Gonna need your help, Andrew.
The my help's what you'll get, buddy.
In the flesh. Guess some rumors are true after all. Time to take out the trash. Kill them all!
a technomancer like yourself, isn't he?
He's not like me. He's a Technomancer's son, and he was never initiated.
Yes. No, of course. Not like you in so many ways. An unpleasant man. But still like you in other ways.
This tablet's obviously ancient, but the text's undecipherable. This'll make for one hell of a translation job. Great Master Ian's the only one who could have read it. Maybe Dandolo's heard of another Technomancer who could, though. Can't believe Alan was here.
Talk about climbing the corporate ladder, right? That fucker's now the alpha technomancer of abundance.
How can he vouch for Victor, the man who caused the death of our great master? I knew Alan was ambitious, but to that extent?
That boy's always been an envious little deviant. I'm sure he was eager to. Do you remember how he pranked you back in school, like when...
Scott, I'd rather keep my embarrassing childhood stories to myself.
Oh, but it was him. Not... Don't feel ashamed.
There will always be men who will sell out for phony rewards. Give him a medal, a pompous title, and he'll ask you where and when to turn in his mother. This infection of uncurbed greed happens even among mutants. Just look around. You've seen the pen. Some of the Guardians are mutants themselves. And they can be the harshest of them all, disciplining for the sake of breaking in their batons.
You taught your rival a lesson. Now we should know better than to run after you.
If I know Alan, it'll only get worse.
At least we found some information, even if we can't read it. How's your ancient hieroglyphics, Zach?
No, I can't. Nobody I know can, except Great Master Ian. It's a coded language that's nearly impossible to learn.
Dandolo will find you a translator. Let's hope it's worth it, and not something boring like a soup recipe.
Zachariah, what can I do for you? '" 'Cause 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 '
They found some ancient documents. Looks like they date back to the settlers, but they're written in a language I can't read.
And I thought you Technomancers were so well versed in our old dialects.
Maybe in Aurora. In Abundance, we're soldiers first and last. We learned some colonial knowledge during training, but the languages are barely taught. The Great Master was the only one who had that kind of knowledge.
So now you need a Technomancer from Aurora to translate. I might know of someone, a renegade of sorts who left Shadowlair to become a hermit. Word was, though, your former comrades captured him. If he managed to hide what he was, he's probably a captive in one of their forced labor camps.
Then getting to him won't be easy.
Exactly. But if you want your document translated, you might just have to find a way.
I'm looking for my friend Scott. He just disappeared. Any idea where he could have gone?
Can't say that I have. He's not at the caravansary, though. If you want, I can check with my informants. Might have joined the caravan that just left, though. Your pal looked like he was missing Ophir, honestly. Then again, maybe he was kidnapped. Never can tell.
Just let me know if you hear anything. I need to find him. Thanks for the help.
My pleasure, as always.
I'm looking for my friend Scott.
Might have joined. Just let me.